Yes, similar situation. You're right. Different opponent, so different set of circumstances. Um, but I think there is a lesson to be learned from that game, and is that we are warned that things can go quickly in the wrong direction. So our players understand that and are taking this game and the opponent very seriously, as we always do. We respect Vancouver greatly, and they have an objective, a clear objective, and so do we. So we are definitely ready. I think we've done a good job recovering physically, and we don't have travel in our legs as they do. So I think we're in a good spot.
And of course, I said Fluminense instead of Alajuelense because we have deep football conversations here, and that's with we actually were having a yeah. The other thing I want to ask you is what was interesting though in that game was Alajuelense decided to be more compact and actually sit deeper in order to try to engineer something to get 3 goals. Do you imagine that Vancouver will play in a similar fashion, or do you think they'll have to come out and play against you guys?
That's a question for Vanny. I do not know. We are ready for anything. So it's completely up to him how he wants to treat this game. Throws a curveball, which could obviously also throw your team a curveball in their later matches. So changing your structure, changing your idea of way to play, or your game model for one match is difficult, but possible. So we'll just have to wait and see.
When you have a busy schedule, people say, how do you manage it? There's so many games, but clearly these guys are enjoying the game day experience. We saw that these past 2 games in MLS, and as well as the Concacaf Champions League. Talk about that spirit and the group that they'll be able to say, okay, no matter how many games we have, we'll get up for this because we love playing.
Yeah, I think players would much prefer playing than training. Coaches as well. It's less work. I much prefer creating match plans and obviously cutting video on opponents and talking about opponent analysis and then coming up with solutions and then implementing those solutions in our training and seeing that in the games. It's much more enjoyable than just training sessions. But I think the team has an incredible competitive spirit. They also like spending time with one another. Playing a lot of games also means you spend a lot of time with one another. And when things are going well, it obviously becomes much easier. But I think the team's overall atmosphere and idea of what they want to be as a group is creating the path for these positive results and also performances. So hats off to them. They do a great job of getting themselves as a group ready to compete, and they are very difficult to beat.
You've been able to incorporate a couple more players the last couple of weeks, in particular Daniel Maldonado and Elden Jakubovic, who were part of a clean sheet against Austin. How important is it to see those guys, and what are they doing in training to be able to put into those spots and maintain that standard?
Similar to last season, different names, but I think a lot of the guys who don't play every week and occasionally have done an excellent job of keeping the training level up very high, which keeps our standard of our starters up pretty high as well. And then once they're called upon, it's then their chance to perform. And I was extremely happy with all the performances we have, especially Daniil and Eldon, who haven't played from the start yet. Getting their first starts to play that well is incredible. And Sergi did more of the same of what we've already been used to. So yeah, keeping the level as high as possible from your players who aren't playing a whole lot is for a team with our expectations and goals, super valuable.
And you have to be pumped about the defense, who not only not allowing goals, but not allowing a lot. Certainly the last 2 games in particular, not allowing a lot of edge chances.
Yeah, for organizations and clubs who try to score goals and create chances, as we are, there will be days where the ball doesn't fall in the back of the net. And it's imperative then that your defense plays solidly and effectively and able to win a game maybe 1-0 or pick up a point and play 0-0. So the defensive side of the game, I will never lose sight of as an ex-defender, and it's something I also enjoy coaching.
Okay, we'll take the questions on Zoom now. Brian, take it away.
Thanks very much. I believe we're going to go first to Josh Gross. Allow me to unmute you.
Thank you. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Josh.
The rotation against Austin, was that at all, should that at all be seen sort of as a priority in terms of what you think about the match versus the champion match? Should it be seen that way? Why or why not?
No, I think I answered that question a week ago. Every match, our next match is always the priority. And we're trying to win every game we play. And there is 11 players who will give LAFC the best chance to win in every game. After we take everything into consideration, all the factors, fitness, rhythm, form, and the opponent as well, those certain 1v1 matchups and battles. So we take all of those things into consideration to decide on 11 to win that particular game. And I can assure you, before Austin, we weren't thinking about Vancouver too much. But as soon as that game against Austin ended, all of our thoughts and energy have been directed towards Vancouver.
And as you think about Vancouver now, as opposed to the first leg, how is it different considering you're on your home field and you're not on their turf? What does that do in terms of how you think about players' starting options and your approach to them?
Not a whole lot. I think after the last round of Champions League, we are warned, and it's a completely different game, different outset, if you will. It's only halftime, and the objective for Vancouver in the second half, now in LA, is very clear. So we know what's coming our way, and we're prepared for that.
The last one for me, if I could. Obviously, Denis been tremendous for you. His last goal was a connection with Sergei. Do you think their connection at St. Etienne has anything to do with plays like that and how Sergei's come into the team?
I think bringing players in from similar environments and from the same team can be helpful in the integration process. But Sergei is a fantastic player with a lot of quality, and if that wasn't Denis on the end of the cross, it would have been somebody else. So I think, Sergei's qualities speak for themselves, but those two have a connection, and if that means that they'll connect more often, then I've got nothing against that.
Okay, next we'll go to Michele Giannone. I believe I'm pronouncing that better this time.
Thank you. That was actually perfect. How are you, Coach?
Great, thanks.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. So you just said that you don't know exactly what Vinny Sartini is going to do, but you mentioned on Friday that some of your elections were going to come from what you were going to see, which lineup, which formations they were going to play this weekend. Did you see something that caught your eye from what Vancouver put on the field on Saturday? Thank you.
No, I think they treated their MLS match in a similar manner that we did. They tried to field a strong enough team, or the strongest team possible, to win an MLS game. In every game, especially home games, it's really important to keep the points there. It's hard to win on the road in this league, and I think that was his outset. But again, that may be something you ask him. We did the same. We tried to beat Austin with what we felt at that moment was our strongest lineup. And we will do the same tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions from our virtual crowd? Okay, hold on. Rodrigo Tovar, 1 second. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. This is Rodrigo Tovar from Fox Sports Mexico. Coach, if you win this match, of course you're going to be in the next stage, and there are probabilities to face a Mexican team in the next stage. What is your opinion about the rivalry against MLS and now Liga MX? Thank you very much.
I'm not sure there's a whole lot to go off of. There have been some good matchups, but I think it may be a little premature to call it a rivalry between club teams, between Liga MX and MLS. Certainly with the national teams, but at the club level, I'm not sure we have enough information and experiences to go off of. But it is an interesting clash of styles, and they're always good games. So we would certainly love to play a Mexican team in the Champions League if we move on to the next round. But again, that's we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Thank you. One more, just for the record, your opinion about Carlos Vela and last performance in the last game, and we are going to see him again tomorrow night.
He will be in the stadium tomorrow night. That's for sure. So I guess, yes, you will see him. Carlos was really good against Austin when he came on. His passing was excellent, setting up a few teammates for big chances. He was good against Vancouver the other night as well with some very efficient passing. And I'd love to see more of that tomorrow night. And we hope to have Carlos involved as much as possible. But how we decide lining up, you'll see tomorrow night.